Hey there, friends! I hope you're doing well. I'm Laura. Today, on our totally chill, not at all cursed Old School RuneScape adventure, we're doing what any good Samaritan would, breaking into haunted-looking mausoleums and insane amounts of cardio. That's right! Rune Mysteries and Priest and Peril are on the menu today, and we're doing them in the name of leveling magic, defense, and slayer. And unlocking a horrifying swamp full of undead horrors. Yay! Also, you get to meet my most loyal companion. His name, Mr. Stabby. Is he enchanted? No. Is he impressive? Also no. But does he believe in me? Probably. And that's what matters. So grab a tea, your favorite hoodie, and let's dive in. To kick things off, we first talk to Duke Horatio in Lumbridge Castle. He tasks us with taking a mysterious talisman over to a wizard named Cedrador. After a pleasant stroll to the wizard's tower just southwest of Lumbridge Castle, we find Archmage Cedrador chilling in the basement, as archmages tend to do. He asks us to show him the talisman from the Duke, and at first he's unimpressed. But after chanting a magical incantation and making the talisman glow, he realizes it might be the key to finding the forgotten essence mine. After a magical history lesson and an explanation about how runes are made, he asks us to take his notes to his associate Aubrey in Varrock, as he's an expert at rune crafting. We tell him, sure, no problem, bro, and off we go to Varrock. We find Aubrey in the rune shop and explain the situation. He takes the package from Cedrador and surprise, surprise, he sends us right back to him to report his promising findings. A quick jaunt back to Lumbridge later, we return to Cedrador and he tells us he's found the lost incantation, which gives us access to the essence mine. Our quest is complete! Hooray! We reap the sweet, sweet rewards, and after a quick trip to the bank to collect a pickaxe, we head off to the essence mine. After a little bit of confusion as to where the rune essence actually is, we fill our inventory and head off to find the Altar of Air. We find the altar just south of Falador. Use the talisman on it, and it transports us to a place where we can create air runes. We craft 25 of the little suckers and gain rune crafting level 2. With our questing done, it's back to see Aubrey and Varrock to buy mind runes, then over to the staff shop to purchase a Staff of Air. This will let us autocast Airstrike without having to use air runes. Now it's on to working on our Slayer skill. Since we've never trained in it before, we need to head to Berthorpe to speak to Peril. Slayer tasks are combat assignments given by Slayer Masters. Each task sends you out to kill a specific type of monster. As you complete tasks, you earn Slayer XP and Slayer points, which you can then spend on unlocks and upgrades that make training smoother, such as a rune pouch, which can be purchased for 750 Slayer points. This will allow us to stack multiple rune types into one slot. Since teleportation spells use multiple rune types to cast, and that's actually majority of the reason why I'm training magic at all, this item will become an essential part of our kit. So let's start grinding. Turiel tasks us with killing 28 dog enemies. The wiki tells us some guard dogs can be found in Ardoon, and the fastest way to get there is to take a charter ship from Port Sarim to Catherby for 1,000 gold points, and then run there. So that's what we set off to do. In Ardoon, we locate some good boys, then unmercifully pummel them with airstrike until we fill our quota. Safe spotting helps us preserve some HP while we're fighting. If you don't know, safe spotting is taking advantage of the game's terrible AI pathing to get an enemy stuck behind something, in our case, a handy bush. Strats, my friends. We use our home spell to do a quick teleport back to Lumbridge, and then run to Berthorpe to talk to Turiel, who tells us we're hella leveled and to go see Majna, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, in Morytania. In order to get there, we must first gain access to it by completing the quest Priest in Peril. So, off we go on yet another adventure. We head to Varrock to speak with King Rold. He tells us that a monk named Drezel hasn't been heard from in a while and tasks us with doing a wellness check. So, of course, we agree because we're good Samaritans and that's what good Samaritans do. We ignore our aching feet and we hoof it to Paternomus Temple. When we get there, we're greeted by a mysterious voice, or voices, behind the door. They seem not to know who Rold or Drezel even are. Then, Drezel comes to the door, and though we're wicked suspicious, we agree to kill a dog he asks us to kill that's lying beneath the mausoleum. We enter the mausoleum and find the pupper we're meant to kill, but magic won't work, so it's back to Varrock to retrieve our trusty sword, Mr. Stabby. With our stabtacular friend liberated from his banky prison, we return and beat the ever-loving snot out of the doggo in the mausoleum. Once we inform Drezel of its demise, he sends us back to Varrock to see King Rold. We relay what went down in the mausoleum to the king, and he promptly calls us an imbecile. He tells us that all of Mistalin is now at risk because the dog is dead. He calls us stupid yet again, and posits that someone has tricked our idiot ass into killing the dog. Then, and I bet you can guess what happens next, he sends us running back to the temple to do whatever is necessary to protect the kingdom, or risk being beheaded for high treason. Very not pog. So, off we sprint to kick some mysterious weirdo ass. The weirdos turn out to be monks of Zamorak, makers of fabulous wine. Once Mr. Stabby's bloodlust is thoroughly quenched, we take the key to the top floor of the temple, and it doesn't fit in the lock of the jail cell. Using our superior intellect, and the wiki, we take the key into the mausoleum and open the door the doggo was guarding. That gets us exactly nowhere, as a room full of mysterious statues and another locked gate block our path forward. I guess poor Drezel will just have to sit tight in that jail cell for a little while longer. Some rapid wiki searching later informs us that we're stupid, and we should have brought a bucket with us. So, back to Varrock we go to buy one. We return to the mausoleum with our trusty bucket to swap our gold key with the statue holding the iron key that we need. Before moving on, we make sure to use our newly acquired bucket on the hole in the middle of the room to collect some murky water from the nasty river below. We take the water up to the top floor of the temple, and Drezel gives us a blessing, turning the liquid sewage into holy water. It's just that easy, folks. We pour the holy sewer water onto Edward Cullen asleep in the nearby coffin, trapping his sparkly ass inside before returning to Drezel. He thanks us and tells us to meet him down in the mausoleum. Mr. Stabby demands we kill a few more monks on our way out, and then it's down the ladder to find Drezel. He tells us shit is mega fucked up down there, and unless I bring him some rune essence, vampires will invade Mistalin sooner rather than later. The rune essence will supposedly suck up the Zamorakian spells that are tainting the water like a magical ShamWow. Neato! So, off to Lumbridge we go, to the rune essence mine. First, stopping at the bank to retrieve our pickaxe and empty our inventory. Luckily, we'll only have to make 2 trips to get what we need. Our basement-dwelling homie Cedrador teleports us to the essence mine in a flash, and we get to work mining the sweet, sweet essence. Another run back to Drezel later, and it's time to get the remaining 23 essence that he needs. The things being a good Samaritan involves staggers me, but there's no time to complain. It's time for mine run number 2. And for those of you screaming at me to just walk to Varrock and buy the rune essence from the Grand Exchange, I hear you. But watching people suffer while playing Old School RuneScape is entertaining. If it wasn't, Settled wouldn't be at nearly 1 million subs. I rest my case. We gather the rune essence we need, and a few extra just to be safe, then walk back to the temple mausoleum. Drezel takes them from us, and finally frees us from our unforced vow of servitude. giving us a dagger that protects us from werewolves. We did it, boys. We unlocked Morytania, and in so doing, we saved Mistalin from an undead army of Edward Cullens just waiting to cross the river and drain our bodies of precious, precious fruit punch. But before we can leave the mausoleum, Drezel gives us another quest. He wants us to check on his friend in Morytania, a land overrun with werewolves and vampires. Fan-bloody-tastic. But that's a quest for another episode. And at least we can log off knowing Mistalin is once again safe from the vampire scourge our stupidity nearly unleashed upon it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Drop a like, a sub, or a comment about how I could have done these quests faster and easier. And until next time, stay weird, stay cozy, and keep leveling.